Hi there, Katarina here with Speak to Learn English. I wanted to share an idea that I think is so important when it comes to making progress with your English. And the inspiration for this idea came from a clip of an interview that I saw recently. It was an interview with Steve Jobs, and he was talking about the importance of asking for help, just being willing to ask, and that most people will help you. And the point that stood out to me was at the end, he presented an idea about the difference between people who actually accomplish what they set out to do and people who just dream about something. Um, and a dream can also be called a goal, but sometimes we have goals that we never reach, sadly. And I don't want English and fluency in English to be one of those for you. So the point that he made is that in order to accomplish something, you have to be willing to fail. And I think that's so true when it comes to learning a new language. In order to actually make progress in the language, it's necessary to kind of push past that fear and that discomfort of saying things wrong, of starting to speak with someone and not remembering a word, or not really fully knowing how to express yourself, or saying things with incorrect grammar. The first step of maybe not the first step, but an important step in reaching fluency is being willing to fail in the language. And not fail altogether, right? But have those little moments, those awkward moments, those embarrassing moments when you are speaking English with someone and you mess up. And some people aren't really that embarrassed by them, which is wonderful. And often those are the people that like make really fast progress because they just keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. So what can that look like? I have a little story about my own experience learning my second language, which is Spanish. And in Spanish, there are two words that sound really similar. One is olla, which means a pot, and the other one is hoyo, which means hole. And I was in Central America with a new friend and trying to use Spanish as much as I could. She was actually bilingual, but I said to her in Spanish, well, I was trying to say there are a lot of holes on this road, because in many parts of the world that happens sometimes, especially on like side roads. It was like a side dirt road we were walking on, and it had loads of holes in the road. Um, in the United States, we sometimes call them potholes, which kind of combines both words. But I knew that I was trying to say holes. But what I actually said was, there are lots of pots on this road because I used olla instead of hoyo to say my sentence. And she found it hilarious. She started laughing immediately. And I was kind of embarrassed, but I kind of like chuckled along with her. But you know what came out of that experience is after that day, I never confused those words again. Never again. It stayed like super clear for me because the combination of, using them, trying them, and having it be with someone that wasn't super familiar with me and just found it funny, and then explained, like it kind of was a big catalyst for clearing up the meaning of those two words in my mind, which is, a step toward fluency, being able to know, okay, which word is appropriate in which situation. And for similar words, being able to have clear in your memory what is the difference between these two similar words. So, it was an embarrassing, kind of awkward moment for me. For her, it was hilarious, which was cool. But it helped me progress to fluency in Spanish. Probably like within a year to a year and a half after that moment. I didn't take that and say, oh well, if I'm with someone bilingual, I'm just gonna speak in English. Like I kept trying, I kept speaking Spanish, and was able to reach fluency. So you can do that too with your English. Keep trying, create opportunities to speak, right? So it may be that you find out your, I don't know, your mailman or the guy that owns the corner store speaks English in addition to your native language. Create those opportunities. Tell him, hey, I'm learning English, or, if it's a woman, hey, I'm learning English. Uh, when I come and purchase here, is it okay if I practice my English with you because I heard you speaking in English to another customer? Or I, remember that you told me one time that you learned English already. So, create those opportunities. And if it is a circumstance where it's someone who speaks only English, that's actually an even better opportunity because they'll only understand you if your English is clear. So, if you work in an international company and if you do that, then you speak enough English to obviously do your job, but you may know only the English related to your position. And I've spoken to people who say this, that I feel like I'm doing pretty well in English, but when it comes to small talk or, water cooler conversations, I feel really uncomfortable. My encouragement to you, if you want to push past that and reach the point of being comfortable, is make a goal of saying a bit more than you say now in those circumstances. So, if you work for an international company and there's a few minutes at the beginning or end of meetings where people chat, say something, think of something specific that you want to share from your weekend or um, a compliment you want to give someone, and you can plan it out and say it and then see where the conversation goes from there. So that's my little encouragement for you for what you can either say out loud or write down. I would encourage you to think about a time that you had a kind of one of those little interesting moments like the one that I shared with you, where maybe you got words confused or you used uh, the wrong verb tense or something, and talk about it out loud or write about it, and also what you learned from it. Like, how did that help your English progress? And it would be awesome if you were willing to share that in the comments. You can also share in the comments maybe two words that kind of throw you off, or like for me several years ago it would have been saying like I always get oyo and olla confused in Spanish. How can I keep those straight? And I'll kind of brainstorm on those comments and see if I can reply back with something that might be helpful. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe or share. Have a great day. Bye.